Oh, hello there, boys and girls. You're looking very good today. My point is, I have been playing Starsector for a long time, and I have been doing videos for quite some time as well. 5 years already. And the last Starsector tips video was made 4 years ago. From that time, quite few things changed, and it is time to refresh our knowledge. Let me give you the first tip, because most of the people don't actually know it. It doesn't really come naturally. If your system doesn't have a stable location, and you have an alpha core, you can fly to the star. Now you get this message. If you click it, you are able to create a stable location. And don't worry, you will utilize only the heavy machinery and the fuel. The alpha core won't be consumed. Not only that, it doesn't even consume the heavy machinery. We have a stable location now. In the recent update, a lot of changes happened, and a lot of them were to the colonies. And my next tip is about logic majority. And I mean, this is one of my favorite additions. It is a very strong modifier. You get stability, you get extra production to the farming, and also you get growth. Overall, you can get very nice planets with this, so do not get rid of it. Also, you cannot build any heavy industry, but I still find it to be very worth it. Now let's get back to the basics, and with the early game to gain a lot of money to start your first colony. And the tip is to keep your fleet relatively small. This is just a small example. Just have like 2 to 3 cruisers, and then rest of the small ships with some cargo and fuel ships. Don't pretty much copy this. Have your own fun. Choose the ships you want with your own build. However, the fleet of this size will be good enough to defeat a lot of enemies, and it will be perfect for exploring the whole sector. And because this fleet will use so little supplies and fuel, you don't even have to really worry about it. It is so efficient. And these are some of the beginning skills that will make it very strong. The navigation for increased burn speed, and these 4 industry skills. Increase cargo and fuel capacity, meaning you don't have to get so much cargo ships with you, meaning you will use less supplies and fuel. Second skill will allow you to gain more resources, so while you're exploring and finding stuff, you will be pretty much capped out on supplies, so you don't have to worry. The next skill will reduce your fuel consumption, and you will scavenge more fuel. I don't have to tell you why is it so strong. And the next skill will take care of your supplies. This early combo, you will be super efficient, and it will be a blast exploring the sector. The fifth tip is to complete the main missions as soon as possible. I won't go into the spoiler territory, but you really get very good rewards for very good cash, and the final reward, completing the main quest, is one of the most vital ones in Starsector. Do not spoil things that much, it will really help you traverse the sector. To finish the main quest, you are more likely to complete quite a lot of missions. Most of the time, you can just accept all of them. Most likely, they will be exploration missions like these ones here. Great cash reward. Now wait for other exploration missions, because these things are very profitable. Will allow you to also explore the sector, so it's the fun part as well. And when they get near to the exploration missions from the Galasha Academy, you can get so much money early game. I got 3 million credits just by doing it very early on. This is a golden path here. Now the next step, you can find abandoned platforms. These are very helpful, as you can use them to store your things before you have your own colony. You can store ships there for later use. Maybe you found something epic, but you don't have enough supplies or economy to support it. Leave it there and use it. It also goes for your weapons. Which brings me to another tip. Hold Alt and just look over the weapons, and you will make them very easily to put inside the storage. Also, it counts to give them back as well. One of the other things that I really enjoyed that I added these years is the Hyperspace topography. You level up this thing through various means like scanning stuff, scanning black holes, going through slipstreams. But one of my favorite ways to level it up is near gas giants. Just scan them. Yes, you gain the Hyperspace topography points. A very good way to do it. Now when you're traveling through sector, eventually you want to speed things up. Honestly, I always use the speed up. But the thing is, you don't have to hold it. If you go to settings, you can unable to use speed up as a toggle. Also, if you press caps lock, you can increase the speed up. But maybe that's a mod. I'm not 100% sure that now that this is a vanilla, but hopefully it is vanilla. Next tip, now when you are already in setting, you can turn off the flashbang. Someone can enjoy it, but most people really don't like it. So here's the option to turn it off. Now we are going back to the core worlds, but we are going through a dangerous cloud. Press S, slow yourself down, and now you can go without any harm through the cloud. Again, it's pressing S. If you go slow through them, you will be fine. Now obviously, if you want to make a lot of money, you should trade using black market, but that's not even a tip because it is very obvious. But one thing you can do, if you go to the planet and click on commodities, you can scan the market. You can find places where the thing is made cheap, but most importantly, I want to say you can find shortages, but I currently don't see any shortage, which is quite rare. we are living in a healthy sector because no one is experiencing any shortages, which is quite the task. But if you see a shortage, you know where to sell. Another very important when it comes to making money. You don't sell your AI cores in the market. I would get 150k. And you might think, which is quite obvious when you first playing, this is a lot of money. It is, but it can be much more. Especially when you are trading to the Tritakion. Go to the station administration and tell him you want to exchange the AI core. And if you turn them in, 150,000 before, now it's 450,000. 3 times more. This is where if you want to sell your cores, you do it here. The next step is check the dock sidebar, of course. Why is it important? Of course you have mission and other stuff, but sometimes you will find a very cool stuff here. For example, right now, we can talk to this guy and he will sell us this wafer for a very good price. But there are much better deals. You can get eagles, sometimes huge ship for such a low price, it's a steal. So if you find these, nearly always it is a bargain to get these things. So don't forget to check it time to time. Now there's one thing that you shouldn't sell, and these are the planet items. Pretty much all of them are more useful to you in your colonies than in the hands of the pirates. But there are 2 which make me especially happy if I get them. The pristine nanoforge to increase the power of my fleet, and the production is just a bonus. But careful, if you use it on habitable world, it causes pollution. And the second thing that makes me very happy if I get it is the cryo-arithmetic engine. If you put it on the high command with extreme heat, you get 100% increased fleets. Honestly, this might be just a placebo, but I cannot live without it. And if you get Dealmaker's holosuit, you know you can get your planet to another level in terms of credit making. Now, how do you deal with crises? Tritakion, I think you can just fight. The hegemony inspection, if you have AI cores, yeah, you know, just pay them off. You can pay off the pirate using your cash, like 1 million credits. Go to the pirate queen. But then you have the personal blockade. These I don't like. Of course, you could fight them when they're blockading you. But for me, I just come for the attacking planet. Annihilate their defenses and tactically bombard their planet. Hopefully they don't mind, but it's something that has to be done. Honestly, you might think it's very bad if you're hostile with them, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. Not really. Maybe one more worth mentioning thing when you're coming to the colonies. Usually there are many annoying things around your system doing stuff that these annoying things will start asking you questions. And if you don't want to answer them, they will fight you. But the best thing is, the most cases, it will not cause immediate hostilities. Therefore, you can respond with brute force. And I mean, it really does feel good when there are no consequences of finally getting revenge. And if you found any of these tips helpful, please consider liking the video. That will make my day. And consider joining us. So subscribe. And let's go. The next step is, a good habitable planet is usually in a system with a beacon in it. Although, as you can see in my case, it wasn't the case. But of course, you have to be careful. Now, if you're looking for a research station, my tip is near black hole or a neutron star. But be careful, these finger thingies are pretty dangerous. If you get close, you get more points to the hyperspace topography. Or if you get too close, it does hurt. Now, in recent patch, there was one more thing added that is quite awesome. When you explore the whole sector, you can get level 7 officers. These officers, as you can see, are disgustingly powerful. You can find them in sleeper bots. But now, if you are having a trouble finding them, they can also send a distress call. So now, it is pretty much always worth it to try at least. See if an officer is calling. Now the next step is, yes, if you are talking about officers, you obviously want them as soon as possible. They increase the power of your fleet significantly, at least on your flagships. I know you have to paint them, but the power, the sheer power that comes with them is pretty much unrivaled. And as I previously mentioned, I wasn't really a fan of the industry tree before, but now I am a true believer. Not only you can get these insane skills, the cargo, the resources, the fuel and the supplies, but also industries make more, so more money. But most importantly, one skill I really underestimated is the hull restoration. I personally despise demods, and I have to have my feet repaired. And what the hull restoration mod does, maybe we can show you right now. I'll speed up the time. Look at this. Your ships will slowly remove their demods. This, at least for me, it did save hundreds of thousands of credits because I hate demods. Which makes it pretty crazy because I used to avoid the skill tree. Now I don't think I can go without it. Now if you're curious about the best ships, first of all, you can check this video when I tier listed all of them. But even from that video, I earned much more knowledge in the tournament. I will give you 3 ones that I'm very enjoying now. Omen was absolutely crushing in the tournament. This thing is absolutely crazy. If you're coming back from quite the rest from Starsector, recently they added this Anubis class, and it's a very fun ship. It pretty much does have to use the PD Paladin systems, few exceptions, but this thing is lovely. And of course, just news for the newcomers, because pretty much everybody knows it, the Paragon. It is basically the best ship if you don't take into account some crazy alternatives. This is a normal ship that you can get multiples of. And it is simple to play, the AI handles it quite well, and it's absolutely ridiculous. But the important part is, every single ship in this game can work, and it can work wonders. This was just a fun recommendation. Just if you see a ship that you really like, just try it out. For example, I really love my Conquest, but it isn't that strong as Paragon. Now when we are talking about special ships, there are pretty much, in my head, just two you can get playing through the story missions. And both are extremely OP, but the one you get pretty early on. Maybe you have seen it throughout the gameplay, but it's the Special Onslaught. And I mean, that thing is absolutely awesome. And it will increase the power of your fleet exponentially. Now for one tip that when I realized it, I was well into hundreds of hours of playing this game without knowing about it. Now you don't need it that much because you have the Hyperspace topography with the hyperfield optimization plus free burn speed while in hyperspace. Absolutely crazy. But now for some reason I can go faster. I went 19, now I go 20 because of the Ox class. It's a tuck ship which will increase your burn speed. And I found out about it much later down playing the game. Now when we are going back to the colonies, as you have seen, to start a colony I recommend you having around 3 million credits like I have here. With somewhat same fleet that I have right now. I think this should be enough. Personally, for my next playthrough, I would push it even further, maybe 45 million. But that's only because I start multiple colonies. For you, if you start 1 or maybe 2, it should be good enough. So maybe push it to 4 million, but that's an overkill. And maybe have 1 capital ship extra, or 2 more cruisers, or 3 more small ships. I don't, for example, don't have the almonds. And don't worry, especially early, there won't be as many attacks. But after you get like 2 to 3 colonies going and they will start making money, the crises will start. And you have to be prepared. Now in the settings, you can push the battle size maximally to 400. But if you want to increase it even more, go to your Starsector folder, so go to Starsector core, data, config, and you have the settings. And you can increase the maximum battle size, for example, to 2000. Save the file and you can have some epic battles. But be careful, the maximum battle size is there for a reason. And it's not only because of the performance, it is also because the battles play out much differently on the higher size. For example, if you have 2000 battle size, as I did sometime, there are so many capital ships that there are no more flanking positions. So the strategies that would usually work in vanilla or tournaments doesn't really work if you have such a high battle size, and the game becomes totally different. Now the next tip is if you finish your first playthrough, you should definitely try yourself some mods. I mean, Starsector has one of its most dedicated modding community, and there are some amazing mods here. You can check out my previous videos for some mods recommendations, but there's 2 mods that I put in even through my vanilla gameplay. Console commands, you can check out the short by the way, if you want to get some cool console commands, and speed up. I cannot play without these, and I think they will very much improve your experience. For example, the console commands, you don't have to abuse them, but when you want to experiment with the builds, it is very helpful. Alright, boys and girls, I was looking through the internet a little bit to find more tips for you that wouldn't come from me. To sum it up quite fast, save quite often, especially if you are a new player. Also, most of the people believe that the path to riches lies in these things, the not so safe stuff. Also, the other thing that comes to mind is to learn to play with your ship. Don't let only AI to have the fun. Play it yourself, learn the game and mechanics, learn the types of damage. Kinetic damage against shields, explosive damage against armor, fragmentation damage usually does a lot of damage but doesn't penetrate armor well, or shields, or energy damage, which is mix of both worlds. This is quite simplified, but you get my point. One more thing I want to leave you with, learn the sensor range. This will help you tremendously selling on the black market and also doing some spam missions and save you so many times. The simple thing is you can turn off the transponder, heavily decreases the sensor profile. You can go dark and decrease the sensor profile even more. And now even with this kind of fleet, which isn't specialized to have a low sensor profile range, you already have only 400. Easy to sneak in and sell on the black market. Of course, that's not all. If you go to asteroid belt, it gets lowered even more. If I hide inside the belt, let's slow up the time, they cannot really see me. Like, look how close I have to be for them to see me. And now I will just come here. Now I can do all the business that people recommend. And if you build yourself, for example, face fleet, the sensor profile gets non-existent. Boys and girls, I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed, leave a like and join us on this journey by subscribing. Have a nice day and ciao ciao.